Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emanuel, I'm a Boeing 737 pilot and a member of PMDG's tech team. In today's video, let's have a look at the configuration of the lights that we have in different phases of flight. This has been quite a popular request below my videos and in my Discord channel, so let's shed a little bit of light into it. See what it did there, huh? Alright, so when you're finding the airplane cold and dark, then you would basically find the lights in the configuration where they are right now. The position light is in the steady position and all the other lights are switched off. When the aircraft has electrical power, the position lights always have to be in steady, and if it is dark, the logo light can also be turned on. Now, the logo light is only going to be turned on when it is dark and not in daylight. However, the wheel well light can be turned on at the desire of the pilots. They are rather handy during the walk around, as even during daylight it is rather dark in the wheel wells, so if you have those lights on, they are rather handy. For now, let's put the wheel well and the logo lights back off, assuming that we have daylight conditions. When you are cleared for your engine start or for your pushback, you're going to flick the anti-collision light on, which is going to serve as a reminder for personnel around the aircraft that you are about to start moving or that you're about to start your engines. When the engine start is complete and you're requesting taxi, you're going to put the taxi and the turn-off lights on. And the reason we are putting the turn-off lights on together with the taxi light is that the taxi light only illuminates a rather narrow area in front of your aircraft, and it does not even illuminate all the area that your engines and your wings are going to pass over. So, in order to see better and in order to see more, you're going to switch the runway turn-off lights on together with the taxi lights. Note that if you're flying an aircraft that has LED lights equipped, like we are right now, then there is no actual taxi light fitted into the nose wheel, like with the conventional set of lights, but instead it is parts of the landing lights that are going to illuminate in a very narrow and inboard beam, which then serve as taxi light. So if you have an aircraft that has LED lights fixed, don't be surprised if the taxi light beam is not going to rotate when you are going through a turn. That is by design by Boeing. When you are taxiing out and you have to stop the aircraft for whatever reason, you are going to leave the turn-off lights on and turn the taxi light off. That basically is an indication to people on the ground that your aircraft is stopped, and it is an indication to other pilots as well that you are going to give way to them. When we continue taxi, the taxi light is going to be switched on again. When you are about to cross a runway, the position lights are going to go into the strobe and steady position, and the taxi and landing lights are going to remain as they are. However, some captains elect to switch the landing lights on as well to improve visibility when crossing a runway. When the runway is vacated, the position lights are going to go back into the steady position. Once you are cleared for takeoff, or let's start a bit earlier, once you're cleared for lineup on a runway, the position lights are going on, the landing lights are going on, but the taxi light is going to be switched off. That is, if you are cleared to line up on a runway, but you have not received your takeoff clearance yet. The reason we do it this way is because the landing lights are going to illuminate everything that needs to be illuminated, and the taxi light will basically become invisible anyway due to the much higher brightness of the landing lights. So therefore the taxi light serves as a very good reminder if you are actually cleared for takeoff or not. Once you are actually cleared for takeoff, you're going to switch the taxi light on, and that is it. Now, if you have an aircraft that is equipped with the original lights, so it has retractable landing lights, then the retracts are going to be used in the same way as the taxi light. So while the taxi light is off, when you're cleared for lineup only, the retracts are going to stay off as well. And once you're cleared for takeoff, the taxi light comes on and the retracts are going to go on as well. When you reach 10,000 feet above your departure aerodrome, then you are going to switch the landing lights, the turn-off lights and the taxi light off. And the logo and wheel well lights can be switched off at that point as well. Note that the taxi light in the Boeing 737 is actually not switching off automatically when the nose wheel retracts. So it is good practice when you are retracting the landing gear that you turn off the taxi light as well. However, since it is rather difficult to look around everywhere in the flight deck that short after your liftoff, and since you are sitting there in a single pilot environment, I would personally find it good practice to leave the taxi light on in this condition in Flight Simulator and then turn it off together with the after takeoff checklist. The same goes for the retractable landing lights. They should be retracted as soon as the landing gear is raised, because they just cause unnecessary drag and thereby increase your fuel flow. However, for the same reason that I would only turn the taxi light off in the after takeoff checklist, I would recommend to do the same with the retractable landing lights as well. Reaching 10,000 then, all the lights on the left hand side are going to go off, and on the right hand side you're going to leave the position light and stroke and steady and the anti-collision on. However, logo, wing and wheel well light can go off. Let's quickly talk about the wing light as well, and what that is actually used for. The sole purpose of the wing light is to illuminate the leading edges of the wing to check for icing. Now, your first indication of icing is always going to be on the windshield wiper, so when you see icing building up there, it is a good idea to turn the wing light on and to have a look at the leading edges on your wing to see if any ice is building up, which would then require the use of wing anti-ice. And that is the only purpose the wing light is used for, so whenever it is no longer used, you are just going to switch it off, because it can be very blinding to the passengers sitting in front of the wing leading edges. So when their eyes are used to the darkness and all of a sudden you turn the wing light on, that is going to hurt in their eyes. So try to keep the wing light off as much as possible and only use it when you have to check for icing on the leading edges. In the descent, passing 10,000 feet, you're going to turn the landing lights on and the turn-off lights on. However, the taxi and the retract lights are going to stay off until landing clearance is received. Also, the logo light can go on at this moment as well if you are flying in the hours of darkness. Once landing clearance is received, the taxi light will be turned on and the retracts will be turned on as well. And after you have landed, when you're vacating the runway, you are going to switch off the retracts, switch off the landing lights, and position the position light to the steady position. Once you've arrived on stand and both engines have spooled down to less than 20%, you are going to switch the anti-collision light off. And be aware that when you are turning into the stand, you should switch off the taxi and the turn-off lights as well. Also, if you are following a follow-me car, then it is good practice to turn the taxi light off, because that can be blinding to the driver of the follow-me vehicle. Now, be aware that is especially a problem if you are using an aircraft with the LED lights like we are right now. So be careful with your taxi light, especially if you're a GSX user and you've requested a follow me. Arrived on stand, engines below 20, anti-collision light off, and that is basically the completion of our flight in terms of the usage of your lights. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, let me know in the comments how you are handling the lights and if there is anything different in how you used them until now compared to what I've said in this video. Finally, a small disclaimer over here. Some airlines are following different SOPs in terms of how to use the lights, so if something in your airline is different than what I've said in this video, don't be surprised there, and of course follow your own airline's procedures. Thank you very much for watching, hope that you have enjoyed this one, and if you do want to support the channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link that you can find in the video description below. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'm very much looking forward to see you all again on the next one.